so let me begin by saying I really, really hope that my analysis of the current situation is wrong, but we're going to have to wait and see if it is. So let me begin with this. It's been really quiet since the election. Okay, the other side went from full-on crazy to being just quiet, and the media's complaining, but a lot of important people just kind of shut up after the election and are just being quiet, and it's really eerie to me. And this just may be my own head, but it was really eerie. And I told everyone in one of my previous videos that it feels like we're between contractions, but we know that contractions get more intense and closer together. And that's what Jesus said was going to come towards the end of the age, is contractions. So I've been sitting here waiting and going to see what's going to happen. I thought, okay, maybe they're going to try to use the 14th Amendment. But now it's been shown that the House and the Senate are both fully Republican. So now the other side can't do the 14th Amendment trick and try to keep the president-elect out. Okay, so I've been looking at all what they've said, what they have actually said on film that they may do, and analyzing it, and they really can't do any of that. They've lost all the House, the Senate, the House, and the presidency, and the Supreme Court's against them. So every part of government has gone pendulum swing away from the globalist. And I just don't see the globalists sitting back and letting 4 years of having their plans undone occur. It just doesn't make sense that they would be cool with that. So I've been thinking, okay, they're probably going to try really hard at actually having a professional try to take out the president-elect, which may still happen. But here's another thing. I did a video a while back, and it was about how NATO and the United States are toying with World War III with Russia, because Russia basically changed their nuclear doctrine to say that if Ukraine launches long-range missiles into Russia, that Russia will view the launching of long-range missiles, which they know are controlled by NATO. The Ukrainian pushes the button. NATO's the one who picks the target, gave them the missiles, and controls the missile going in. So the Ukrainians can't use these weapons without NATO's direct help to hit targets inside Russia, okay? And so Vladimir Putin, just like anyone else would say, this is NATO attacking me. If you launch these long-range missiles in, they're coming from NATO control directly into Russia. NATO is attacking Russia dead on. It's one thing for us to fight back and forth in Ukraine with NATO support, but as soon as NATO starts hitting inside Russia, that's a bridge too far, and I can respond with my own missiles on those NATO countries, up to nuclear missiles if I deem it necessary. And Putin was hoping that this would be a clear enough message to keep them from launching these missiles from bringing the missiles in, but especially from bringing them in and launching them into Russia. Guess what's happened? They've brought the missiles in, and they just yesterday or the day before gave Ukraine permission to start launching them at targets inside Russia. So the United States and NATO have now basically allowed the targeting inside Russia and are poking the bear and pushing World War II, or World War III, sorry. Now, what's so disturbing about this is we know the incoming administration is going to do a peace deal and stop the Ukrainian war. So it's not even the current administration, it's the people behind the current president who are in control. They are escalating the war. They are actually risking having NATO get pulled into World War III before Trump can get into office. And if you look at what Trump's planning, Trump has people in line that are going to take a ton of these career intelligence operatives, are going to fire them and fire all these people in government and clean out the military and fire all these generals and stuff. So the people who are currently in charge, who hold the highest positions, know that they have less than 60 days before they are on the chopping block to be fired. They're going to be that. And like the DOJ's, they're deleting files like crazy. They're shredding papers, deleting emails and text messages. All their misbehavior directed to the current administration over the last 4 years, they're destroying the evidence of it right now. I listened to a guy who's an independent reporter and a whistleblower's saying, yeah, that's their current job. They're just purging all the evidence right now over the next 2 months. And they started a month ago when it looked like Trump was probably going to win. And so the question is would the deep state start World War III to keep Trump out of power and to keep the power to themselves? And I think they would. Again, we have that prophecy about the three-headed eagle waking up and devouring the incoming leader. And I think this is possibly how they're going to do it. And it's a very simple way to do it. They launch long-range missiles into Russia. Russia responds with long-range missiles back into Ukraine and devastates Kiev and their electrical plant and all these other targets that they have not been hitting, but they have to retaliate hard enough to punish them. Okay. Then everyone comes out and says, oh, Russia's starting it. Look at what they did to Kiev. Look at all these terrible things they did. They're escalating the war. We have to do something. They're aggressors. They're going to take over all Europe. So then the people in France and other places have been talking about moving nuclear bombs on planes closer to Russia. They move nukes on planes into, say, Warsaw, Poland, right on Russia's doorstep. Vladimir Putin will have to respond by attacking Warsaw. He'll basically have to, he'll have a choice of ignoring it and hoping that they don't attack with NATO, or he'll nuke Warsaw as a warning because he said, don't move nukes into Warsaw. It's too close to my country. And that's definitely a possibility. The question is can Trump talk to Vladimir and say, hey, I'm coming in less than 60 days. Ride this out. They're just trying to provoke you into a hotter war to try to keep me out. Don't fall for it. When I get in, I'll give you more contingencies in Ukraine. When I'll give you a better deal when I get in. That's where we're at. We're at the deep state trying to start World War III with NATO and Russia, and Trump being our only hope of talking Putin into not starting World War III. This is the world we're now living in. This is the insanity of the people who are running the show, that they would actually risk millions upon millions of lives to keep their power, to keep a guy from coming in who you and I, the American people, are giving a mandate to go in. They're willing to start World War III to keep him out. I hope to Jesus that I am wrong about this, that they're just trying to threaten with these long-range things to increase the negotiating power and that they're doing a peace deal, but I don't think they are. I think they're trying to create a hot war with NATO and Russia so that they can keep their power base. So let's pray that Putin can keep a level head and not fall for the trick, and that we can avoid World War III. So sorry for the bad news, and that's the thing, is the media will not talk about how stupid this is, that we're going into a time where we're about to have a peace treaty with Ukraine and Russia, and we're going to do the one thing Russia says you're not allowed to do, and launch long-range nukes into Russia from Ukraine. The media is not going to cover this. I only saw one little news snippet on one station, but the rest of the media is going to ignore that this is even happening, so they can come back when Russia retaliates and say that they're instigating. I mean, this is all part of a sick, demonic plan. The demonic entities that are behind leaders and behind these pencil-pushing bureaucrats who are playing with our lives because they want to stay in charge. It's just, it makes me sick. So again, let's all pray and hope that I'm completely wrong on this, but we can only wait and see.